Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is some strange being that comes floating down into this field in Mexico. Also have this video. It's a 1-hour documentary about all these different people who have been abducted. Also have this video here out of Brazil of some strange craft in the sky. Let's see, this is a quick video showing these giant objects, several giant objects flying by the sun. And these are supposedly planet-sized objects being maneuvered around the sun. Let's see, this is a video about these Russians talking about encountering UFOs, and you know how they knew that it wasn't the Americans. So this idea again that, you know, some people want to claim these UFOs are foreign craft is ridiculous. Let's see, I got this article here about the space fleet that supposedly the United States, or is being operated by the United States and has been in operation for quite some time. This is an interview done by Rich Hall of Gary McKinnon, and this is the guy who hacked into the NASA servers and rooted around in their files for a little while, you know, when it was still dial-up. Also have this image here of a cave painting showing, you know, a spacecraft. You know, which again, it goes back to what I've said, is these crafts, these beings have always been here. They've, you know, according to this evidence, you know, I mean, if some prehistoric individual saw these crafts and then drew it in this cave, that means that, you know, this is evidence that they were around back then. So take a talk about that, or take a look at that. And last is this strange patent I found on Reddit claiming to be some kind of invention to train a person to be able to walk through walls. Anyways, let's see, let's go to this first video here. Now this is a Reddit video. I'm going to play the whole thing because, you know, it could disappear one day real quick. So anyways, you're going to see this thing come floating down, and then these dogs are going to, you know, chase it or bark at it, it seems like. And then it's going to float over here by these lights, and then video's going to end. So this is like a 2-minute video. So like I said, you know, a lot of time these videos end up disappearing. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this whole thing play out just in case it does disappear.
23 de febrero del 2022. Después de unas horas de que comenzara la invasión de Rusia a Ucrania, esa misma noche se registró un evento extraordinario en el Estado de México por medio de una cámara de seguridad. En la localidad de San Vicente Chicoloapan, en el Estado de México, en un sitio ubicado cerca de Río Coatepec, Huilimega, por medio de una cámara de seguridad, logró registrar a 2 entidades que descendían del cielo y se acercaban al lugar, causando alerta y miedo a 3 perros callejeros que se encontraban en ese sitio en la madrugada. El equipo de seguridad estaba grabando con un filtro infrarrojo y era la 1 de la madrugada con 36 minutos, momento en el que los canes trataban de dormir. Sin embargo, de pronto, arriba desde el cielo, descendieron las 2 entidades lentamente, acercándose hacia donde estaban los animales, alertándolos inmediatamente. En este punto de mayor claridad de la toma, podemos apreciar que se trata precisamente de 2 entidades de forma humanoide. Una de estas es de un menor tamaño y la apreciamos del lado derecho, mientras que la más grande la acompaña en todo momento. Se acercan a unos centímetros del terreno y posiblemente podrían haber caminado, aunque no podemos afirmarlo. Continúan su desplazamiento hasta que se acercan a esta zona que parece ser una barra de tierra, y la grabación se corta. En ese momento la entidad más pequeña se ve completamente de lado, junto a la más grande, y es posible apreciarlas perfectamente a contraluz. Los perros en todo momento tratan de acercarse ladrando. Este aspecto de la grabación es sumamente importante, ya que no habría manera de que actuaran de esta forma. En el acercamiento y contrastando la imagen, podemos apreciar con más claridad lo que sucedió. Una imagen extraordinaria que revela un aspecto misterioso del mundo que no vemos. información para Tercer Milenio 360 Internacional.
Wow, there are other videos out there of little goblin-like creatures, that look like they're on like wooden sticks or something floating. And I think they have these other phenomenon called brujas, or like little witches or something like that. There's videos of these things in Mexico too. So again, there's so many of these strange phenomenon that have been happening that people have talked about for a long time. And now there's actually video evidence of this stuff. I mean, of course, if this is real, I mean, nowadays it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake. But yeah, if this is real, it's kind of interesting. Anyways, a link to this will be in the description. Let's go to this one here. Yeah, now this one is just it's an hour and 13-minute documentary about all these different people who talk about being abducted. So let me just play a little bit of this.
Central Intelligence Agency. That is a real, true fact. MK Ultra was a real program. They induced people to become psychotic using LSD. It's in black and white. It's in court records. It's real. People who did something like that are capable of anything. The fact that those people remain concealed behind a barrier of secrecy from public scrutiny means that objects appearing in the human body in this country, implants that seem to have something to do with mind control, we have to investigate first the secret government. Second, we look for aliens.
Speaking from experience, I can only say this for sure. There are humans who monitor abductees, who have interrogated abductees, who have abducted abductees, and either through drugs or electronic controls made them vulnerable to questioning and then tried to erase most memory of the event. And usually there are physical after effects. There's a grogginess, there's sometimes a nausea. It's sometimes very physically there after the event happens. Whether they're involved actively with the aliens in doing this or with a group of aliens, we theorize because we get reports of and ourselves see alien entities with the military people. But to what extent they are cooperative or coercive, we don't know. ETs have said they control the military in some instances. We don't know if that's true or not. They lie.
I never saw anybody else. There was nobody else in that room. I never saw where any of the other people went, where they were taken to or anything. There was a doorway in that room, a normal typical doorway, but without the door being there. Just the doorway, so I don't know whether the door was sliding across or up and down. But standing outside the doorway, and obviously there was a corridor, was a human military guard, dressed all in green, no insignia, no badges, nothing. It was just combat green colour. He had a round helmet, nothing on it, again, green, and he was just standing outside that door. I couldn't see any weapons, guns, or anything, but he was there. So it was like, well, there's humans interacting with non-human beings here.
Okay, I want to stop that right there. One thing I want to again mention about this phenomenon, that it isn't just one monolithic entity. Whatever these beings are, they all have their own individual agendas. Now, again, based on what I've heard from several different people, there's at least minimum of 4 different advanced species sharing this planet with us, and they all have their own individual agendas, and just like within our own our own military, we have different branches of the military, and then Russia has their own military, China has their own military. So I mean, if someone on Mars asks what's the agenda, you know what I mean, it depends. It's like, well, is it the Chinese, is it the Russians, or is it the Americans' agenda that you're talking about? Whatever procedures that are being conducted on these individuals, it is not being conducted by, let's say, all of our underwater neighbors. It's probably just one division of one of the species that's doing this, and and who knows if if whatever's going on with these people, if they're all related, or if it's being done by separate entities for separate reasons. But we can't think that, that this is all just being done by one monolithic entity. Anyways, link will be in the description. Let's go to this one here. Yeah, this one here is not the most exciting. It just shows different strange craft in the sky. Let me go here. Started here. This is kind of hard to see. And at one point you see it phase out. And, I don't know if it's just going out of focus or if it's their cloaking devices, like malfunctioning or something. Yeah, that disappearing, that thing just moving away so fast. And I think there's this is actually a compilation video here. There's a few other UFOs. Here's like a squadron of them. There's that. Let's see. There's this one here. Yeah, this was kind of boring here. Just a single light in the sky. But, this is every day, folks. Every single day. There isn't a single day that goes by that someone on planet Earth doesn't see one of our underwater neighbors. They're not all visitors. It's kind of obvious by now. Anyways, let's see. This one here. Yeah, no, this one here is crazy. There's going to be some overeducated knuckle dragger on here talking about, this is some type of digital anomaly or something. But these are Earth-size ships, planet-sized ships that are being maneuvered around the sun. And, again, you have to think that here within our own solar system, these crafts are operating. So I would have to assume that whoever built this, because, again, someone has to build it. This isn't, someone isn't sprinkling fairy dust and, creating these planet-sized ships, right? Someone has to manufacture these things. So anyways, let me just play a little bit of this video here.
2010. According to one observer, the UFOs appear to be moving as they are in different positions on many of the NASA stereo photos and are huge, possibly at least the size of Earth. If the UFOs were planets or some type of huge asteroid comets, they would already have been pulled into the sun by the strong gravity the sun produces, as in the case of the recent comet. Dr. Joe Gurman, NASA Stereo Project scientist, states the giant solar UFOs are compression artifacts.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, did you see the way those things maneuvered? But think about it. These are planetary size ships that some entity is maneuvering in our own solar system. And, this isn't something that's unusual or rare. These are regular events. So link to this will be in the description. This is a video real quick about this. Here's a Russian guy talking about how, they knew that what they were seeing, it wasn't Americans.
This 1990 case is the only one supported by evidence. All other possible contact reports by both civil and military aircraft are merely eyewitness accounts. This is the only case for which there is concrete proof.
His pilots do not fire on UFOs.
As far as official instructions are concerned, we in air defense have certain unwritten rules that mean we only use radar and not armaments against UFOs.
I want to point something out right there, how it's an unwritten rule. right? Whenever they encounter UFOs. Again, if this is something that they have an unwritten rule about, it must be something that happens on a regular basis. And it happens on a regular basis because we aren't alone on this planet. Anyways, link to this will be in the description. Let's see. This is an article with a series of videos of an interview done by Rich Hall of Gary McKinnon, and him hacking into the NASA website, when it was still dial-up. And this, he talks about coming across documents talking about ship-to-ship transfers, and he found a list of non-terrestrial officers. He found, he talked about a list of ships that he cannot find anywhere in, in our listed Navy ships or anything like that. So it's pretty apparent, again, based on all of these interviews and, with what Gary McKinnon found. Now remember, what Gary McKinnon found was never supposed to have been seen by the public. But because of, whatever his curiosity, and, you saw how the United States tried to extradite him. So, you have to assume that, if he definitely got into some sensitive information, otherwise they wouldn't have gone after him like the way they did. But it's pretty obvious the United States definitely has a space fleet operating in space, according to all of the documents that he found. But I don't want to play any of this stuff. But the link to this will be in the description, so you can check out these 4 videos on your time. Anyways, let's go to this image here. That just shows, what else could this be? This is something that they drew this because they saw this. This was obviously done by prehistoric man, and I bet you at that time they didn't have any concept of light. They didn't have a word for, illumination or light. They might have had a word for sun or daylight, but I don't know if they would have understand the concept of generated light. So is it possible that that's what these dots represent? That this is a prehistoric individual's representation of brightness or light or shining or something like that. Anyways, link to this will be in the description. And last is this strange patent application here. This was filed in January of 2006, but check this out, what it says here. It says, this invention is a training system which enables a human being to acquire sufficient hyperspace energy in order to pull the body out of dimension so that the person can walk through solid objects such as wooden doors. Now again, I have no idea, whether or not this is a joke or if this is real, or, if this is just someone coming up with an idea and just filing a patent, whether it works or not. But I do find it interesting that I believe all of these points are chakra points. But again, this is an invention, is a training system. Acquire sufficient hyperspace energy. Wow, pretty wild. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.